All right, welcome to Local Matters on ThereTV. I am here with Kiddo, and she's a designer who's started by doing some roads and some other objects as well we'll get into. And we're now sitting in her salon. Thank you for joining the show, Kiddo.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. And of course, a question that I ask everyone that I like to interview. When did you first come into there?
I came in about, I believe it was in June of 2007. I had some friends who had been here for a while, and they had been trying to get me to come in, and I kept saying, oh, nah. And once I did, I was hooked, and I've been here ever since.
And what do you think about there so far?
I love it. I love the fact that you can come in and you can build things and put together things and design things on your own. And I, I really enjoyed that part of it and the socializing.
Exactly. So being in a world like this is mostly a game where it was first for socializing, but it's actually becoming more as for the design aspect as you touched. So you're a designer yourself, as I've mentioned before.
Yes.
And what do you like doing the most as for designing in there?
Well, I've done several different kinds of things. I started out with docks and docking systems, and then I went to roads, and I've gotten into furniture and draperies and accessories and that kind of thing. And I don't know that I have a favorite. Just that I do is every new thing that I do is something different, and I enjoy all of them. I don't know that I can pick one that I like the best.
So I understand the sofa that we're sitting on right now. You've done it yourself.
Yes, I did. It was one of the things I did with the kind of 50s theme in mind, and this is kind of reminiscent of a couch that I actually grew up with.
Oh, that's wonderful. And as for some of your designs that you would have done, you said you don't really have one that's really your favorite one. What do you think? Which would you think would be the one that you would say you were the most proud of?
It would probably be the concrete and asphalt street systems. They seem to be selling the best, and people seem to like them the best. And so I would say that would be the one. And of course, it's not one piece; it's many pieces.
Right. So as for many pieces and things of that magnitude, it involves many pieces to piece together. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle. What do you think about pieces like that, where you have to make them really correspond to each other and they have to be the same in order to be able to connect instead of just one whole piece? What do you think about that aspect of building and designing?
It can be tricky. You have to be very careful, and it has not been with error. I have had several times when something actually got into world, and I went, oh, gee, I can't believe that got past me. And of course, then you go back and you fix it. Um, but yes, that can be a very tricky part of building, is making sure that pieces fit together. And another thing I'll say too is that I'm always surprised by the creativity of the builders, because when I build the pieces, they're just built strictly to piece together. And I don't necessarily have a build in mind when I make them, but I'm always amazed at what the builders in there have been able to do. They take the pieces and they put them together in a way that I would have never dreamed of.
That's great. And we're here in the neighborhood of San Dimas, and your streets are all over the place here.
Yes, they are. In fact, these street pieces were built upon the request of the owners of the neighborhood, and they graciously allowed me to put them in auction.
And that's great. And it's great that they were able to actually piece around I'll be coming out with an actual feature of the neighborhood later on and show exactly the network that went into building these streets. But it's absolutely, you did a wonderful job on putting everything in it because it really fits well with with the surrounding and the actual look and feel of it. It's like an authentic street, really.
Yeah, Scott, AMX Scott is the one who actually did the street build. He was the one who, a lot of the pieces were requested specifically by him. Okay, I need this to do this and this to do this. And some of them were like, oh, but how about this, so I would have an idea, and then we would come up with some ideas together. So between the two of us, I think we have designed somewhere close to 30 pieces, 30 street pieces.
And that's quite a lot for just for one kind of an item. Usually if it was something else like a building, you wouldn't see that many pieces to come together because it's just a few pieces, especially for a road system where you would really have to think and come up with a road piece for any type of situation or land that be out there.
Absolutely, and that's why some of the pieces actually have what we call sandy blobs underneath them, and those come in really handy for low areas where they need building up underneath. And eventually I plan to do those with some grassy blobs underneath them too.
Right, that would definitely come in handy with grassy areas as well.
Hmm?
That's great. And uh, as for anything else, is there anything else you'd like to add as for the playability of there, the actual mentality of there and the people in there?
There's a great group of people here, and I think it's just like real world because you have a great cross-section of different types of personalities and different walks of life, different economic backgrounds, you name it, you can find it here as far as personality goes in there.
Indeed, I would agree with you. Is there anything else you would like to add in general?
I can't think of anything that I could add.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having a sit down with me and taking a few minutes out of your time.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been a
You're
pleasure.
welcome.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode of ThereTV on Local Matters. I am Transporter talking with Kiddo, and you have a good one.